Markets in the U.S. will be closed tomorrow to observe the Christmas holiday, but retailers will be anything but quiet as after Christmas sales kick in. They'll also be busy handling all of those customers who are returning unwanted presents. One logistics firm estimates more than a fifth of all returns happen during the holiday season.
General Motors plans to recall nearly 50,000 SUVs made for police departments and other government agencies. GM says there's a problem with the cooling system. The recall affects 2010 through 2014 models of the Chevy Tahoe Police Pursuit SUV. The company sent a notice saying the cooling fan could trigger an electrical short circuit and cause a fire. It's not clear if that has actually happened.
Oh, he of little faith, Colorado's last lonely, faithless elector. His criminal case is now in the hands of the state attorney general. Michael Baca's case was referred there today. He kept his promise made here on Next that he would cast his electoral vote against the will of Colorado's popular vote, anything to stop Donald Trump. Well, he may have committed a crime under state law in the process. Republican Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman will be the one to decide whether he's prosecuted. We will keep you updated if Baca ends up back in court.
Denver police have yet to identify the man critically hurt when his wheelchair was hit by a car earlier this week. We are, though, learning more about the driver this morning. Police say 34-year-old Gailey Lopez stayed at the scene after the crash. He has been arrested for investigation of vehicular assault. Police suspect alcohol was a factor. Now, this all happened at East Quincy Avenue and South Tamarack Drive in southwest Denver just before 7 o'clock Wednesday night. The man in the wheelchair was in the crosswalk when he was hit.
Students from 2 Denver public schools held protests and walked to the state capitol today to express their feelings about the presidential election. The students attend DSST, Byers, and Strive Prep Excel. Denver Public Schools says they worked with Denver Police to make sure that the students could do this safely and use this opportunity to also learn about civic engagement.
For all those people who do support racism, to show them that we matter, to show them that whether we're black, Latino, white, Jew, Christian, anything, we matter and our voice matters.
If you talk to these students, they will share with you their concerns. They have realistic concerns. They have genuine, deep feelings about this, and we want to allow them to express their voice because we don't want to suppress any of their feelings.
Other student groups have also protested the outcome of the election. As several nights last week, people gathered in downtown Denver.
And so the news of the heart attack is just being seen with big reactions from Coloradans.
Yeah, certainly. People checking out the Star Wars costume exhibit at the Denver Art Museum were shocked to hear the news.
Fans of the movie series have just packed the museum since the exhibit opened last month, and most of yesterday's tours were sold out. We talked to people as they were leaving the museum after hearing news about Carrie Fisher's heart attack.
Couldn't believe it. You know, I mean, she's not that much older than me, and just the thought of, you know, her having a heart attack on a plane is scary to begin with, but at her age, it's hard to believe. Because I was 11 when I saw it in the theaters. My kids, now they're in college, are all becoming Star Wars fans because of Force Awakens, because of, you know, these characters that I've known for years.
And as we get more information about Carrie Fisher, we will pass that along to you on 9 News and all our networks over the weekend.
Today, a top advisor for President-elect Donald Trump says the incoming president plans to announce more staffing appointments this week. Officials say Trump is considering Richard Grenell to be United States ambassador to the United Nations. He'd be the first openly gay person to fill a cabinet-level foreign policy post. Grenell briefly served as foreign policy advisor to the Mitt Romney campaign. Trump is also looking at Michigan GOP chairwoman Ronna Romney McDaniel to take over as national party chief. That role is open after Trump named Chairman Reince Priebus to be his chief of staff. Trump made that announcement yesterday along with Steve Bannon as chief strategist and senior counselor. A lot of people are talking about the Bannon appointment today. Before joining Trump's campaign in August, he led Breitbart News, which often has some offensive headlines that some consider racist. Bannon said this summer he wanted Breitbart to be the platform of the alt-right, a conservative extremist movement with links to white nationalism. House Speaker Paul Ryan says he's still confident with Trump's pick.
I've never met the guy. I don't know Steve Bannon, so I have no concerns. I trust Donald's judgment.
Gestures matter, and how he reaches out to groups that may not have supported him, how he signals his interest in their issues or concerns. I think those are the kinds of things that can set a tone.
President Obama talking about how he hopes Trump will bring the country together. The Anti-Defamation League.
And while travelers have had to deal with crowds, canceled flights, and lost luggage this week, there is one group trying to keep the holiday spirit alive out at DIA. 9 News photojournalist Chris Chalene found one group that just wants you to stop and listen.
A trip to the airport 3 days before Christmas tends to be a bit stressful. Some hide it better than others. While the whole point of being at the airport is to move forward and go,
still I will be mad.
There is a sound that is making people stop.
I think we're kind of the unexpected Christmas surprise. 3 for him who made us all.
The original Dickens carolers.
Merry Christmas!
What a way to land in Denver.
Oh, the weather outside.
6 weeks out of every year, they go out and spread some cheer.
I mean, I guess you get awkward reactions.
To anyone with an ear to hear,
all we can do is get them to smile.
We love it.
About 50 singers take their turns assembling into groups of 4. Some have been doing it for years.
My first season was 1990.
Others, not so much.
This is my first year.
But nothing brings a group closer, faster than music.
And the mountains.
The Dickens carolers have been memorizing 54 songs since September.
My family at home is like, oh my gosh, Christmas. I've been singing Christmas carols for 4 months.
Oh, Christmas tree.
All to prepare this gift.
Fantastic.
For the travelers at DIA. So even if you've somewhere to go, take a step back.
Merry Christmas!
If only for a moment to remember another time.
It's nice to have some Christmas music.
You'll go down in history.
Like Taylor's.
Like Elroy Jensen.
It brings up something that's just so deep inside that people may have even forgotten.
Oh my gosh, it is Christmas. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Let's sing.
To celebrate the time before the busyness of the season,
Santa Claus is coming.
Inevitably catches us all again.
Coming to town.
At DIA, Chris Chalene, 9 News.
And the original Dickens carolers started in the mid-'80s performing on Larimer Square with 8 people and now employ around 50 from Pueblo to Fort Collins. You can find them at the airport, in shopping centers, and right back on Larimer Square on Christmas Eve.
Boy, oh boy, we got a lot of frozen lakes around the Front Range right now, but don't be tempted. What we've told you year after year is still true. It's not always safe on the surfaces we have around here. 9 News reporter Victoria Sanchez followed some Boulder firefighters as they went into the frigid waters, training for emergency situations this winter.
Always assume that any ice is unsafe.
The ice at the Boulder Reservoir is about 4 inches thick.
Was there anybody with you?
But right underneath it, the water is less than 34 degrees. Crews with Boulder Fire Rescue have specialized equipment.
Just keep looking over there, okay?
But even with the head-to-toe coverings,
they might be in the water for upwards of 20 minutes at a time, and when they come out, they're done.
That means being the department spokesperson for the day has its perks.
Today I'm talking to you guys, so I got out of it.
But all joking aside, training in ice rescue at the beginning of the season
Trying to look at those guys there?
Could save the lives of people and their 4-legged friends. Dogs are the most frequently rescued from being out on the ice or from falling through it. Boulder Fire takes it seriously because a worried owner could cause a bigger problem.
So as you can imagine, it's just like if they had a child out there. They're pretty panicked, and a lot of times, you know, they'll want to go out on the ice and try to rescue them themselves.
In his 17 years on the job, firefighter Brad Lufer says he's helped rescue 10 dogs, and all of them survived. He says leave the rescuing to the experts. In Boulder, Victoria Sanchez, 9 News.
All right, so the experts say the only way you can figure out whether ice is actually safe to walk on, you got to measure it. Less than 4 inches, it's too thin. And since it's tough to know how thick the ice is at any given spot, firefighters would rather you just stay off.
Yeah, how are you going to measure it? Really?
Yeah.
I know.
Well, you can hammer down in there, but you better be sure you got some slack to play with.
Yeah.